Hey there people, here's a quick tutorial on how to make a simple single item pickup system on Godot 4. You will need a total of 3 scenes and a script in this project. We need the human, which is a character body 2D, the item drop, which is an area 2D, and a world, which is a node 2D. Here is the node structure of the human scene. We have the main collision, we have 2 sprite 2D, the human sprite and the item sprite. And we have an item in range, which is an area 2D. Set up your human sprite as well as the item sprite. It's easier if you format your sprite like this in order for us to have an easier time in the future. Now let's make the item drop scene. This will be an area 2D with one sprite. You can just copy the item sprite from the human scene. And let's not forget the world. Let's create a script for our human here. First, we have the reference for the things we'll be using. Set a variable for the item drop scene because we'll be instantiating this later. I will also need to set up the variables for both the sprites. Speaking of variable, first we'll make the speed, carrying item, which is a boolean, drop position, which is a vector 2, and items in range, which is an array. Let's write the ready function. We'll need to hide the item sprite. Now that that's out of the way, let's write the movement code. We'll also need to flip the human sprite when we're moving, left and right, as well as the item sprite. We also need to change the item sprite position X so it'll line up with our human sprite. Now we're gonna set the drop position. It's where we want our item to be when dropped. Next, we're gonna make a new function called pickup_item. It's gonna take a parameter which is an area 2D. Then we're gonna delete the given parameter which is the item. We're gonna set the carrying item variable to true and make our item sprite visible. Next, we're gonna make the drop item function. First, we're gonna hide the item sprite, then we're gonna instantiate the item scene. Set its position to our current position plus drop position, and finally adding the item in our world. This will make an illusion that we're dropping the item that we're carrying. Now, let's go back to our pickup range and connect these signals to the main human script. We're also gonna go back to the item scene and make a new group called item drop and add it there. So for area entered, we're gonna check if the area that our pickup range collided is in a group named item drop. If it is, we're gonna add it to our item in range array. And if that area is no longer in our range, we're just gonna remove that area from our array. And lastly, we're gonna write this control. So here, it's checking if you press the spacebar. If you are, then it's gonna check if we're already carrying an item. If you are, then we'll call the drop item function. But if we don't, we're gonna check if there's an item in range. If there are items in range, we're gonna call the pickup function and pass on a random item in range. And now that's done. I've been busy at school lately, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time for making tutorials or even making a game. Like, that's my hobby. I'm recording this using my phone, and if you have suggestions, just comment down below.